yesterday was a big deal for Google, as I alluded to earlier. And why is that? Well, I had heard, and we had heard, that possibly Gemini 3 was going to be releasing very soon. Then it was imminent. And sure enough, yesterday morning, an hour before our fun embargo interview was set to go live,
Big
Gemini
news. We're going to
3.
have big news. Oh, well, it's a little smaller
Oh,
now.
the oxygen just left the room. Anyways, not to push down the news, the quality of news that is Gemini 3,
Mm.
because everybody flipped their lid over this. And we can talk about it a little bit. And I can actually show you a little bit of a demo. Some of the things that they've been touting, I haven't gained access to yet, even though I have Gemini 3 in my Gemini instance or on my account. But
And just
anyways,
for folks out there, just so you know, because I was cursing as I do. Why can't I get this? If you, I'm on Chrome, and if I go to Gemini, you
yeah.
don't see it evidently. You've
Yeah.
got to go to the deep reasoning, and under there you will see that it's Gemini 3. Otherwise, the default's Gemini 2. And on my
Yeah.
mobile, I still haven't gotten 3.
Yeah, it's not like if you go to ChatGPT, you'll see up in the left-hand corner,
Right.
it'll say -5 or whatever the version is, right? Here, it's very unassuming on the Gemini interface, but if you pull
Go to the
down,
thinking. I'm sorry. Right.
yeah, I mean, these are both using 3, is my
Oh,
understanding. It's
no.
just,
When mine, fast is 2.5 and thinking is 3.
oh, okay. It's so interesting how these things
They
are like
didn't really,
staged.
Google and branding, they just
Yeah.
have a problem with branding.
Yeah, but you really have to look for it to know.
Yes.
Oh, there's 3 Pro.
That's when I stopped
In
cursing when
thinking.
I found it.
Anyways, let's talk a little bit about what it can do. Native multimodality, which when I heard that, I was like, well, wait a minute, aren't these systems multimodal already? And what it actually means is that it can take multiple types of input and ingest them together. So it could be text, video, audio. It doesn't do them in sequence. It could actually contain it all at once and do it simultaneously. So, it just removes a little bit of the barrier of what you throw at it and when and what it's capable of understanding and pulling from. So that's cool. It can create magazine style layouts. Does this thing give you, this article on The Verge, give any sort of a instance of what that actually looks like? Basically, it's very visually rich, let's say. And I don't know that that is the best indicator of what that is. But let me see here. Well, I'll just play the promo video while I talk
Yeah,
about it.
it's probably the easiest.
Yeah, kind of creative style layouts, very visual, interactive flashcards, web apps, games, tools, all done through something called dynamic view, which is this visually rich and interactive kind of addendum to the Gemini 3 experience. That's the thing that no matter how hard I tried, I really wanted to. That's something different. I'll talk about that in a second. But I really wanted to get access to it, and I don't have access to it in my dropdown. It would appear down here in Tools, Dynamic View, and I'm not getting it. So I don't know why I'm not getting it. Hopefully I do too. But it creates these really rich interactive things throughout the experience that are just a lot of, very, very very appealing. It really pulls you in. Generative user interface, a lot more animations, that sort of stuff. Google also says stronger agentic behavior, so it can handle more complex tasks. It can also reliably plan ahead over longer horizons. And then they have a new thing called anti-gravity, which is a multi-agent IDE. IDE, for those who don't know, integrated development environment. So this is really about development using all of these different agents and models all together to create pretty complex code projects with all of its first party and third party models, integrated in. And it also produces something along the line of artifacts as it completes its work. And that's all meant for verification of its work. So that's done by way of screenshots, plans, task lists, browser recordings. And so it's not just creating the thing, it's also creating more understandable ways to check the thing that it created, which I think is interesting.
And Google's stock went up
Yeah.
about $304, almost $304. It's down now to $294, but the market loved this. And Google, had cooties when it came to AI. Oh, they're behind OpenAI and thus Microsoft. I think Google has well caught up. in the market's view.
I mean, there was a lot of excitement around Gemini 3, and even not just yesterday because it launched, but like leading up to it, we started kind of seeing little hints of it on the horizon, and I could sense that people were getting really excited about this. I think another thing that's really interesting is that Google pointed out, made a point to point out that they are making this model less about flattery and more about telling you what you need to hear versus, OpenAI and ChatGPT, which with 4.0 had that kind of flattery slash personalized perspective that they then kind of jettisoned for 5 and then kind of brought back to 5.1. So they're trying to figure out the best way to do that. Google's like, no, we're about information. And that's how I use Gemini. I use this a lot for like the research stuff.
Yes.
I find its larger context makes it really good for that. And so
Yes.
I think that plays to its strengths.
And meanwhile, just by the way, so Meta stock keeps on going down.
Interesting.
So in the past month, it's down 20%.
Oof.
Yeah, oof. Whereas Google stock, no, I typed in goof stock. Goog stock
Goofle stock.
is in the past month is up 14%.
Yeah.
With there was a bit of a down curve last few days for all tech stocks, but this really the market is impressed. I think they should be.
Yeah. Well, it's a very visual approach. And so one of the examples that I wanted to try, and, I was kind of trying to figure out like what's a good way to test this. And I haven't really worked a huge amount with Canvas, but some of the changes that they made with Canvas, I used a prompt, which I will fully admit AI helped me create. Make a neo-brutalist, because I would never even know to write this.
You're a neo-brutalist persona kind of guy.
Make a neo-brutalist personal site. Make it chaotic, colorful, and use smooth scroll animations. Really push the limits. That was the prompt. That was it. And I put that into Canvas, and it came back with like, I'm not a web designer, so things like this. I mean, some of the elements that are interactive. Actually, let me go full page on it. This is a first start at a web page, and it's not just a static, a couple of blue links on the page. It's not just images either. It's like these kind of animations. I certainly wouldn't know how to do this, but I'm not a web designer. Maybe this is easy stuff. But, it did this in a matter of, I think, like a minute. It gave me this this interactive web page. Not everything works. Like this little spin me, I can't like interact with that. Don't know how to go backwards. Once I got here, there's no way to click to go back or anything like that. But anyways, I find that pretty darn impressive, and kind of a almost certainly a sign of more things to come down that road, and definitely a good example of the visualization, the visual kind of, I don't know, is acuity the wrong word? Probably, but capabilities of Gemini 3.
I've really got to. I have not. I must confess, and this is like, hello, folks. I haven't done my homework. I haven't played with vibe coding enough. Because it's really impressive. I just gave it a prompt. It's still building it, and to see it build that code in front of you.
Yeah.
And realize that I'd be incapable of doing it.
This is a little weird. It has the animation over to the side. But I mean, just the fact that like it's inverting the colors. It gives me this. I don't know. This is it has a dynamic quality to it. I'm sure there's a ton of imperfection. If you got in the code, I'm sure there's plenty that people would look at it and be like, "Oh my God, this is garbage." But maybe not. I mean, it's rendering pretty reasonably as far as like a good first step. I think that's pretty impressive.
So I asked,
but I haven't done much of that either.
I just asked it to make a site design appropriate for the 19th to 20th century typography. Mm-hmm. And it made a fake newspaper. And it's okay. It's not great, but
yeah,
it did all that in no time flat. Yeah. And
it's
pretty
capable.
amazing.
Yeah, pretty amazing stuff. So Gemini 3 out now. And I know everybody's playing around with it to try and see like what is it really good for. I really want to test out the dynamic view aspect because some of the examples that I saw like give me a layout of Van Gogh's art, and it had this. it just immediately spit out, maybe not immediately, but after a couple of minutes, spit out this fully interactive way, which, instead of just having a mountain of text, which we're really used to getting from LLMs right now, this is kind of taking that text and putting it into kind of a dynamic web page style interactive presentation, let's say. And boy, if it's capable of this now, once again, it's like, what's it going to be able to do in a year? It's crazy.
Right.
Really cool to see how it's progressing.
Yeah, I think these things will conquer media world. They are
media world.
Media world. That is to say, the
Media
things
world.
that mimic media, that we can see in those two dimensions.
Yeah.
Text, images, video. It's the third dimension where it gets in trouble, and that's what Jan's working on.
Right.
And that's what Jensen Huang is worried about, and that's where the real development will come. But as a media person, both of us media people, it's pretty amazing. It can do pretty. It's getting to the point where it can do pretty much anything in media. Now that means a lot of it's slop, and we got to deal with that issue. But as a technical ability, it's phenomenal.
Before we go to the break, I just have to say I was out for a walk with my dog the other day, my dogs, and I was flipping through YouTube to try and find something, and this short comes up, and it's like, make 100 Instagram reels in 1 minute.
Oh,
and I was like, oh my God, okay.
Hell.
I had to see what the heck this thing is about. And sure enough, like the process, it does that. It had to do with fitness, and it was like, go into ChatGPT and tell it, come up with 100 very, popular fitness not prompts, but like motivational, sentences or whatever.
Human prompts, kind of, yeah.
Yeah, human prompts sort of thing. So here's 100 motivational fitness related things. And then she takes that into like Canva and, through a CVS or whatever file and CSV, not the drugstore. And, anyways, the process would totally work. At the end of the day, in a matter of a minute, she had like 100 Instagram reels to share of this thing. But it was just like, oh my goodness,
this is how the internet's ruined.
This is where it's going, isn't it?
Yep.
Just like churn it out, churn.